Hi, welcome to Coding Bible channel. In this video, I will talk about just-in-time compilation and ahead-of-time compilation in Angular. Before you watch this video, it's better to watch the video number 1 in the appendix of the course, in which I was talking about Angular compiler. Okay, so let's start our video. We have known before that Angular compiler transpile the TypeScript code into JavaScript code. But how TypeScript compiler and Angular compiler works together? In just-in-time compilation, the TypeScript compiler transpile all the TypeScript code, including the code of Angular syntax, into JavaScript. But how he transpile the syntax of Angular? I think we think that TypeScript compiler doesn't understand Angular syntax. Yes. For example, TypeScript compiler will convert the decorator into a function that can be executed in runtime. Okay, but it will not do anything with the properties of the decorators. And another example for the component templates, it will just let it as it is, like a string, and it will not do anything more. So this is how TypeScript compiler converts all the code, including the Angular syntax. But what about Angular compiler? The TypeScript compiler also converts the Angular compiler into JavaScript. So why we need to do this? Because just-in-time compiler means that the Angular compiler should work during execution time or runtime in Chrome, and to do this, Angular compiler should be written in JavaScript, not TypeScript, because Chrome can't understand uh, TypeScript. So in production time and in development time, the package of your application should include the Angular compiler. Okay, and of course, Angular compiler will be downloaded and executed in Chrome. And just Angular compiler will convert the Angular syntax to a JavaScript code that can be understood by Chrome. Okay, in runtime. And this is why they called it just-in-time compilation, because Angular compiler just transpiles the code in the right time, okay, during the execution time. So what about AOT? In AOT, Angular compiler just transpile the code that contain Angular syntax only. Angular compiler will not transpile the whole application. And then the code that is, or the JavaScript code that resulting from transpilation by Angular compiler will be passed to TypeScript compiler. Why? Because TypeScript compiler will optimize it, okay, and then TypeScript compiler will also compile the other TypeScript code that is not compiled or transpiled by Angular compiler. So now TypeScript compiler will compile the code that doesn't contain Angular syntax and also optimize the code that is resulting from Angular compiler. Okay, so the final result in AOT is just a ready code, a pre-compiled code, and ready for execution in JavaScript, and we don't need any compilation process in JavaScript in AOT. So now the question is, which is better, GIT or AOT? It depends. Depends on if we talk about development time, so GIT is better, and if we talk about production time, AOT is better. Why? Because in production time, GIT will cause two problems. The first one, that is the final bundle of our application should contain uh, Angular compiler, which will make the bundle size big because it contains a compiler. So Chrome needs more time to download it, and another time, this is the second problem, another time or a more time to execute it. Okay, so this is the problem in GIT. So in development, GIT is better because we have the compiler in Chrome and ready for compilation or compiling any changes we made. So it will make the development time faster. So how we can choose AOT or GIT? In recent versions, Angular do this for you. It just make it GIT during development time and AOT in the production time. But if you want to force it or to be sure, you can open angular.json and you will put it here okay, yes, AOT, as you can see, true. If you make it false, this means that Angular will make it GIT even if in production, which is bad for performance. Okay, and based on what Angular determine this based on main.ts, and we will talk about this when we talk about a platform browser dynamic or the difference between platform browser dynamic, platform browser, and the Bootstrap application. Okay, and this will be the video number 3 in the appendix of the course. So this is the end of the video, and if you have any question, just tell us, and thank you for watching.